name is Amit Ramani. I'm the founder and CEO of Awfis. We started the Awfis journey about 3.5 years ago with a small center in Vasantkunj. Today we operate 30,000 seats, 63 locations and across 9 cities. So in Bangalore, we had about 10 odd centers before we opened this new center. Now the other centers are a bit smaller in size, so average size is about 20,000 odd square feet. This center is the largest one we've opened in Bangalore. It's in the heart of Bangalore in Residency Road. And through our customer base, we understood that there was a large latent demand in that space where you could offer a value product at a very affordable price. So clearly this at about 10,000 bucks average price of a seat in Residency Road is clearly providing an infrastructure that is way better than what you would find in that simple micro market. The center also has a full terrace of 10,000 square feet where there is a large cafe. It has a whole bunch of other amenities, recreation space. It has obviously a large area where people can congregate on the terrace. There are also better amenities in terms of the activity-based settings in the whole center. And clearly it has close to about 1,000 plus people. So it's a very large community that we have curated in Bangalore. And it's a one-of-a-kind center where the amenities are world-class at a very, very affordable price. So clearly, India is an underserviced market when it comes to finding quality workspace at an affordable price. And I think what we've been able to service really well is the SME customer base in India, which in many cases had substandard infrastructure available. So I think we've been able to upgrade them into grade A type infrastructure at a very affordable price. So I think that latent demand has certainly driven. The corporates obviously want flexibility. They also don't want the hassle to manage 50, 100 seats in their sales and branch offices, which we've been able to service. And India is one of the youngest working populations with the startup and the freelance ecosystem growing very rapidly. So I think all of these things have created to a very, very fast growth for the overall co-working space, and as a result have delivered a fast return in terms of expansion for us as well. So I think we've understood how the supply and the demand for specifically India works. Right? So our supply side acquisition is in partnership with the landlord. Majority of our spaces is in partnership with the landlord, which is very different than our rest of our competition here. Secondly, we clearly have delivered something at a price point which is very, very value driven. Right? We would look at ourselves as the Honda City of the market, where it's a great price point and it works for the Indian ecosystem. And I think finally is the network effect, right? We have close to about 60 plus centers, 63 to be exact, and across 30,000 seats, 9 cities, going to 15 this year. I think it is the largest network available in India. So when you need a space, you will get it. And I think that differentiates us as Awfis in India specifically. So I think obviously in the last 3.5 years of our journey, we have grown in terms of scale. So we had projected a lot of things and how they grow at a rapid pace, and we've been able to deliver that, right? 3x growth year on year from 18 to 56 crores, now from 150 to 8 crores. So I think we have grown year on year and proven to the investors that we can scale very fast. We are also the only company probably in this co-working business that is profitable at a company level, and which is a big deal because in a business which is high capital intensive, to be able to grow at a rapid pace and be profitable, I think has gained a lot of confidence from the investor side. And I think we look at our investors, our shareholders or our stakeholders, not just the people who invest in us, but people who also work with us. And we've been able to keep them extremely happy. As a result, a large part of our business comes from the repeat business from our clients today. So I think these are all things which have enabled us to deliver a great product at a great price, have given the confidence of the investors, and ultimately businesses in India are built on first principles, and we are a profitable company, so that also gets a lot of confidence. So I think all of our centers in their individual micro markets do extremely well. When we open up a center, the response that we get obviously is a true testament to if the community has accepted our center or not. I think specifically the Residency Road Center, which opened on April 15th, about a month ago, is already at about 83% occupancy across 1100 odd seats, right? So I think we have delivered a product that at that price point is an extremely valued product. And I think that is one. Second is the Bangalore complex that we have 2 floors in this building itself, and I think that's done really well for us. I think as a product, this was version 3 of our design, and I think it was very well received by the customers. We have close to about 1,200 companies working in our centers across a large community base of 20 plus thousand people that work in our centers on an ongoing basis. Some of the companies in the corporate space are customers such as Hinduja Global, Vodafone, Airtel, Hitachi, CNBC. We also have a lot of SME clients, so Vara, Syngenta, Blaze Clan are some of the SME clients that we have. And obviously we have startups and like Swiggy, Cultfed, Zomato, etc. So I think there's a large customer base across these companies, and they all coexist. I think that's the fun of our centers is that it has a startup freelancer also, and it has a very extremely large corporate as well coexisting at the same time. So I think in India, clearly for small companies or large companies, the biggest challenge is you have to find real estate, then you have to hire a contractor to fit that out, then you have to hire a maintenance agency to manage it. What we understood was for small, medium enterprises and even mid-sized corporates, this was a big hassle. They don't have their own admin people, they don't have their own dedicated real estate people, and as a result, what we felt was if we provided some of these customers a customized solution that essentially looks and feels like their space, but then at the back end is managed completely by us, so that it is branded for them, it is looks and feels like their own space, but then all the hassle of fitting it out and managing it on an ongoing basis comes to us. And there we felt that there was a very unique product that we could launch, and we have launched and we've been very successful. In the last 6 months, there are at least 10 such customers, including a Syngenta, a Blaze Clan, or a Duff & Phelps, or even Dun & Bradstreet, are customers which have taken this on and have had a very successful experience using these AES solution, Office Enterprise solutions with us. Clearly, if you look at companies right now, the ability for us to predict, or large companies to predict anything beyond 3 years has become a challenge. Now, if you look at real estate, if you were to go and take your own space, you would have to take on 6 years or 9 year leases. So flexibility is a big component of why co-working has taken off. But people can take it for 1 hour, or they can take it for 5 years. They can take 1 seat, or they can take 500. It's to their choice. So I think flexibility is clearly there. Second is the choice, where and how when I want to work, and that accessibility becomes a big push for some of this movement towards co-working. And finally, I think it's brought price transparency, where I could not know what is my price in a specific building. I now know what I'm going to pay per seat. So it made that transparency come into the whole co-working ecosystem, brought that into the real estate component, and clearly that's what people have taken on, and they have adopted this very, very fast. I think going forward, I feel that clearly percentage of every company's portfolio will be co-working / shared workspace. We don't feel that all of it will move into co-working, but I think clearly at least 50 to 20% of it over the next 3 to 4 years will move into the co-working space. As I mentioned earlier, India is an underserviced market when it comes to finding quality workspace, but that's a small part of the problem, because a large push has to happen in terms of improving the infrastructure of tier 1 cities, tier 2 cities, and then tier 3 cities. As the economies grow, clearly there is urbanization that will happen. So I think one thing which would really help is if the infrastructure overall improves, because we can provide and control what we deliver in a specific building or on a specific floor, but clearly we can't change the city. So clearly there has to be a push from the government to improve the overall infrastructure as urbanization increases in India. Sure. So it's a new technology. We are also experimenting with it. So it's a very early stage for us. It's a technology which helps people address through 3 words the ability to find our space, and find our space not only to our specific floor but what's around it. And we are also experimenting with it. We are one of the only co-working players that is currently participating in that experiential nature of this what 3 words. More to come as we evolve and learn from it, but I think it's working very well for our community in terms of locating us, in terms of understanding our spaces, in terms of understanding the surroundings that are available around our spaces.